A lot of riders now feel like the track has dried up sufficiently enough for the final 5 minutes of this FP2 session. Let's have a quick look on those Michelin slick tyres. Fabio Quartararo jumps into second place. In fact, we've got a Monster Energy Yamaha 1-2, albeit brief, because Oliveira now goes up into second place. Yeah, it's easy to forget, isn't it, that at the start of the season, Simon mentioned, the GP22, there was a lot of head scratching going on in that Ducati garage, because everybody was saying they could not get any acceleration grip, lots of wheel spin, a bit of an aggressive. They found more power, but they hadn't worked out the best way to put it through the ground. And it wasn't until the 6th round of this season that Pecco Bagnaia, the Spanish Grand Prix in Jerez, actually won for the first time on that new bike. And I'm sure initially, Simon, there was a few concerned faces, particularly when they saw Enea Bastianini on the proven race-winning GP21 light up the start of the season, winning 3 of the first 5 Grand Prix, leading the championship. Pecco must have been thinking, hang on a minute, guys, that's the bike that I was on last year. This guy's carving it up, leading the championship, and I'm struggling on this new bike. What's going on? Yeah,
well, he wasn't on the new bike then, but I think he lost a little bit of the way, you know, doing all the pre-season testing. But the other bit to remember is they had that front ride height device, you know, like drops the front on Pecco's bike as well early on, and it helped Pecco lose the feeling, you know, that you need to ride at the pace that these guys do when they're on it. And he lost a little bit of confidence in the front. They got rid of that device. They, right before the season, also changed spec of the engine. You know, that was some hybrid between 21 and 22, and they got back on track and going well. And that's why I keep pointing out that the Pramac riders and Marini are still on that machine, you know, without the front device, but still on that 22 machine.
Yeah, as you mentioned, something, because they were allowed to, weren't they, pre-season, before they sealed their 7 allocated engines. Ducati kind of made a hybrid 21-22 motor, didn't they, for the factory team, for Pecco Bagnaia and for Jack Miller pre-season, which they then homologated for the season.
And I think it was just, you know, they didn't want to ignore all the others, you know, the other 3, but at that late stage to build, you know, to make everything, and well, they just concentrated at that late stage on their factory guys, making sure they had the right thing to start the season.
And just speaking of engines, just a footnote to this weekend here in Malaysia. Of course, initially this was supposed to be the longest MotoGP World Championship campaign in history before we lost Finland in July. We were supposed to have 21 races, and it was agreed with the organisers and the teams with the initial schedule of 21 races that there would be a fresh engine, a new engine that the teams could use for the last 2 Grand Prix of the season. So the factory teams, those without concessions, the likes of Honda, Yamaha, Ducati, KTM and Suzuki, they have access to an 8th engine for the final 2 Grand Prix of the season. Just a footnote there, because if we start seeing hot laps in dry qualifying sessions and maybe some new top speed records around here, the teams are probably chucking in brand new fresh engines, Simon.
Well, I did notice, I mean, this might not have something to do with the new engine, but I did notice, for example, factory Ducati team warming up their bikes this morning for the first time from cold. The bikes on the left-hand side in Pecco's and Jack's garage are smoking like a train, or basically, you know, the oily hands on the exhaust, etc., all burning off, and that happens when they do an engine change.
So yeah, they may well have had that fresh new engine then that they had available in their allocation fitted this morning. Alex Marquez then's gone top of this FP2 session, which is on a drying track now, 2:08.644 as we ride on board with Fabio Quartararo. This is into turns 7 and 8, where Aleix Espargaro had his clutch problem this morning, and Quartararo just runs in a little bit hot there. A quick check on our tyre graphics. Jack Miller, Tetsuta Nagashima, who continues to stand in for the injured Taka Nakagami, LCR Honda, Pecco Bagnaia, Marco Bezzecchi, as Jack spotted, and Alex Marquez, who now leads this session. They are on our tyre graphics, the men that have switched over to the Michelin slick tyres. Still circulating on the rain tyres and going incredibly fast is Frankie Morbidelli. In fact, shame he aborted that lap, because he may well have gone back to the top of the timesheets. Cal Crutchlow then. When would have been the last time that Cal Crutchlow would have led a MotoGP free practice session in any kind of condition? But he does so at the moment on the with the Yamaha R&F machine. Crutchlow also out on slick tyres now. He's down to a 2:08.436. That looks like it'll be immediately bettered though by Alex Marquez and Jack Miller. This is probably going to be one of those scenarios where whoever takes the checkered flag last out on the slick tyres will set the best time of the session. It's Crutchlow from Zarco, two of the experienced old wise heads in this MotoGP field.
Also, if you are one of those three guys, I imagine you being a little bit more tentative, you know, because the last thing you want to do, hit a wet patch right now, high side off the thing, or low side, whatever, and hurt yourself and go into Sunday's race with some, you know, handicap. So I think those guys are going to be, unless they feel really confident, they're going to be slightly more... look, here we go. Just to prove me wrong, Pecco and Quartararo both on one, ready to go. But what I'm saying is I don't think they'll take as much risk with patchy conditions.
Yeah, so there is the checkered flag is out, and Alex Marquez takes back top spot in this session, but that'll be bettered, as we mentioned. The guys out on slick tyres, whoever of those makes a clean final lap, surely will be taking top spot. Jack Miller's going to obliterate Marquez's 2:06.896. Alex Marquez at the moment is nearly 1.6 seconds clear of Cal Crutchlow in that second spot, but as we mentioned, Jack Miller's going to take that away from the Spaniard who cleaned him out last weekend in Australia. Unfortunately, Jack Miller's home Grand Prix hopes were wrecked by Alex Marquez. His title hopes wrecked as well, unfortunately, with that smashing into the Miller corner. Alex Marquez has a long lap penalty as a result of that indiscretion coming up in the 20-lap race here on Sunday afternoon. There goes Crutchlow over the line, and he does take the checkered flag. He does a 2:05.710. And at the moment, I'm just taking a look at our timing screens. That might well be it. Cal Crutchlow with a feather in his cap for the Yamaha and F team. Of course, it's their home Grand Prix run by the Malaysian, the former CEO of the Sepang International Circuit, Razlan Mazali. So we know in the nearby shopping mall here, Cal Crutchlow and Darren Binder were meeting the fans instead a couple of days ago, pre-race weekend. A lot of support for that team here in Malaysia, and they've got a big Friday boost because Cal Crutchlow there on the number 35 machine is going to be the top man in that weather-disrupted FP2 session here